Hi guys, I'm Ben.
And I'm Lucy.
And this is our self-converted ex-LDV minibus.
And we'll be travelling every country in Europe in it. So our van is an LDV convoy, unfortunately. It was previously a minibus when we bought it with 18 seats, which we removed prior to the conversion. It's got a 2.4 litre diesel engine, long wheelbase with 6 wheels and windows all along the sides being ex-minibus. It came in rust white, so we decided to repaint it blue, leaving the roof white, and on the roof we've attached a 100-watt solar panel.
Okay, so this is our kitchen, arguably the most important bit of the whole van for us. I work as a chef, so I spend a lot of time cooking anyway. We use as much reclaimed wood as we possibly could get our hands on. These are all old pallets, driftwood from our local beaches, and these are all pallets as well. We've got a lovely little spice rack, just about every kind of spice you can think of here. We've tied it up with a nice little rope, which we also found on the beach. And Lucy's input some more driftwood all the way along here. We got coffee, sugar, flour, gram flour, all these sort of things over here. Hopefully nothing falls out. There we go. Just all of our enamel stuff kind of crammed in with some cups of tea, essential part of the van. And here, nothing fell out again, just all kinds of various junk food and unhealthy stuff. Bit healthier, nice little fruit basket overflowing with fruit that we're not eating. A nice little herb garden, which we do try and use as much as we can. All of Lucy's plants here, she's made these little sacks for them. Sometimes they fall off when we're driving, but most of the time they stay where they're put. The sink here we got from our old caravan we used to live in, so that was all free. The tiles, they kind of remind us of the cliffs around where we live, so we thought there'd be a nice little touch to the van. So just recently we revamped the worktop because it looked a bit tacky, so we tried something completely new. Lucy was watching Grand Designs and saw a really cool technique of charring wood, so we thought we'd just give that a go. So we went down to the builder's yard, got an old scaffolding plank, which cost us about a tenner I think, and some Danish oil, and I kind of went to town on it with a blowtorch, and we ended up with this lovely effect. So it took us about 3 hours all in all I think, and we just got the blowtorch and evenly charred all the way across. It actually creates a waterproof barrier as well. All the resin rises to the top, so that's quite handy, and you can just wipe down and it's nice and clean. So this took me all in all about 3 hours to get into the van, and on the same day Lucy also managed to make this lovely little kitchen roll holder, so that was her input for the day. Okay, so down here all of our kitchen cupboards and storage. Nothing quite matches up evenly in this van because I don't really have any woodworking skills, so there's no two edges the same length and everything's a little bit quirky. So in here is our oven and gas bottles and all that stuff, and just kick the doors to make them close properly again. That's a nice little key feature I added in there. Here's our cutlery drawer. Sometimes likes to fly out when we're driving, but most of the time it behaves. And this one down here is where we keep our gas hob and fridge, which comes out like this. On our last adventure we had a hell of a lot of stuff just rolling around the van constantly. We were always turning our heads around while we were driving, wondering what it was. We ended up getting quite good at guessing what each noise was eventually, but the first thing we did when we got back was bought this old ottoman and decided to revamp it again with a pallet wood theme. Just nailed a load of pallet wood around it once we'd sanded it down all nicely. Got a big Hessian coffee sack and put that over the top, filled it with some cushion stuffing. Job's a good one, lovely. And now we don't have anything rolling around the van anymore, and it's perfect. Extra storage, a little seating area so it can be a bit more sociable in here when it's raining and stuff outside. So yeah, that's probably one of our best additions to the van since we've been back.
So underneath the bed we have even more additional storage. We have a small cupboard here which we mostly use for keeping toiletries and odd bits and bobs. We also have a drawer here which we keep our underwear in. Over here we have the smallest library ever, with space for about 10 books, which we, just using up odd bits of space we could, we built that mostly out of driftwood. and we wanted to brighten up the van quite a bit, so along the whole front of the bed I asked my friend, who is an artist, if she would design us something quite Indian, mandala inspired, and she came up with this and painted it for us, which also glows in the dark. And over here we have our tiny little toiletry area, again using up every available bit of space in the van. This was just a result of the cladding, which you can use for our toothbrushes and toiletries. Installed a small little fold out mirror here as well, with the zoom on one side, which just hooks in there. And just next to that we have our shower, our thermostatic mixer, which gives us both hot and cold. We previously had a shower tray in the van, but then decided that we much preferred showering outdoors. Who wouldn't? So we simply just remove the shower head and take it outside to use it. Okay, so this is the bed/lounge area of the van. It's really cosy, almost too cosy, because we never want to leave it. We opted for a fixed bed rather than a fold-out one to create a service area underneath the bed for the electrics and the plumbing. We've got storage here for our clothes. We've got my much larger hammock up here and Ben's much smaller hammock over here. We decided to go for hammocks because the first time we went away we had a plywood cupboard up on the roof, which created a lot of damp and mould with the clothes, so we decided to go for the hammocks to give them more ventilation. We've also recently added in a curtain to divide the bed area from the kitchen area, and a large curtain at the back here, which is lined with blackout thermal lining to keep the light and the heat out, and it's also got a PVC backing on it so that when the van gets condensation in the morning we can wipe it off and it won't create any damp or mould on the curtains, which was also a big issue for us. I've done the same with the smaller curtains down here. I also recently added a bed tray, which I built out of scrap wood and driftwood I found in my garage, which is a nice little desk area for the laptops and gives them somewhere stable to sit. I have some cooler LED lighting in the ceiling over there, but we wanted something a bit warmer, so I created these fairy lights using some light bulb shaped drinks holders and some thin wired fairy lights, which are battery powered. We've also got our hanging lantern here, which is a nice extra bit of light for reading at night. These 12-volt fans we have as well are a lifesaver in the summer when you wake up in the morning drenched in sweat, and you can turn that on and it's just revolutionised the way we live in the van. Finally, we have the porthole up here, which was kind of an accidental addition to the van when our solar panel blew off on our first night back in Cornwall earlier this year. So that left us with a leaking fan which we had on the roof. We decided to remove that and instead stick some blue plexiglass down over the roof, which left us with a kind of circular shape, so we needed something to finish the edges off. So I then asked my dad if he would perhaps build us a porthole. So he took a stainless steel dinner plate into his workshop and 2 hours later came out with this. Underneath the bed we have what we call the service area, which is where we keep all our electrics, heating and plumbing elements. So for heating we have an Erbespacher diesel heater. It's a D5WZ hydronic, which normally heats water, but we've adapted it to also give us hot air. So this works, it runs off 12 volt and also diesel from a small jerry can to which we've raised a fuel line. And this works by heating up a coil full of liquid which runs through the hot tank and through a small radiator in a heater matrix we got from an old car and then back into the Erbespacher again. Now the coil is something that we custom made to fit in our also custom made tanks, which were made out of 2 stainless steel chafing dishes sealed together and pot riveted, one for hot, one for cold. And we also have a clear reserve tank which holds 25 litres of water, which we can remove and fill and put back again. On the right hand side of this service area we have 2 120 amp hour leisure batteries, which gives us 240 amp of power. These are charged by the solar panel on the roof and also by a butyl cable which runs to the alternator in the front of the van, so we can charge it while we're driving. We also have a split charger dial which we can turn to the off position, which means that it does not draw or charge any of the batteries. We have it in the first position, it draws only from the van battery. Number 2 is only from the leisure batteries, and there's a setting for both as well. Finally, we have a 3000 watt inverter which gives us 220 volt mains power, but mostly we use 12 volt to charge our phones and other electricals.
Give yourself a time limit and then double it. Give yourself a budget and then double it. and yeah, just persevere and you'll get there. It's well worth it in the end.
And don't get an LDV.
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe now and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you want to support us and help continue making our videos, then join us on Patreon from only $1 a month. See you on the next one.